asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Discover Crypto, what is happening? I'm supposed to be on my way to a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve hearing to speak publicly, but I had to hop on a live stream immediately, and I'm going to be showing up at like 1 a.m. in Florida because this was too good to pass up. Guys, Donald Trump has announced not only a 90-day pause on tariffs, but is actually creating more tariffs on top of China. We have watched markets absolutely explode over the last few minutes here. Looking at the charts, we could pull up not only the SPX, let's pull up the SPX first here. This might go down in history as the biggest green day. I don't know if it's going to be the biggest green day here. Let me go ahead and add the screen. Everybody left their seats, so we're good to go. There you go. Look at that up, dude. Massive points here from the bottom of this market here. I mean, like, this isn't something I was expecting whatsoever. I mean, I'm not even going to lie with you guys. I was expecting us, honestly, to see Trump has been playing the craziest mind games over the last 24 hours. 2 days ago, they shut down any rumors of these 90-day tariffs being postponed. They were like, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to stick to our guns. Markets dumped again, right? That's when we pumped and then we dumped. To last night, Donald Trump goes live at a conference and speaks about how every country is calling him kissing his ass and he's not going to remove these tariffs. To 24 hours later, after Wall Street fear-mongered everybody saying we're going to enter this recession, closes that gap. Goes 70-plus countries have responded saying they're not going to retaliate. They're going to work with us. They're going to give the United States the biggest, most historical trade deals it has ever seen. And they're cutting those or postponing those tariffs here, guys. Massive negotiations here are going to take place over the coming weeks. But man, oh man, I mean, we told you guys countless times that under those levels, all these levels, buy, onto one of the biggest movers here, up 20%, breaking out of this descending wedge here. This could be an incredibly bullish reversal on these markets. The move's not over yet. I'm not saying go FOMO. I'm not saying be a bull. We just watched a bull trap happen yesterday, followed by a bear trap today. Will this coincide with some downwards action here? Who knows? But this was a huge move from Donald Trump. We're now watching, of course, markets. Dude, everything's all over the place. Everything is green. The only things that are down right now are going to be, I mean, the 10-year coming back down quite a bit here. We might see that start to, definitely roll over the next few days. CPI data comes out tomorrow. We are expecting the Feds to now probably cut interest rates in June. This is now going to probably go over into my my analysis here. Which is we're probably going to watch the Fed watch here, guys. We're probably going to watch the derivatives here. Yeah, look at that adjust massively, guys. Dropped by 20%. Nobody's expecting an interest rate cut in May now. It is going to look like June is that day at a pretty much 90% chance, 92% chance that we're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut in June. So this is huge news, guys. Coming out of this is from 11 minutes ago. Pretty much 30 minutes ago. Breaking news, President Trump tariff imposed on China. They're still going to war at China with this tariff war, going back and forth, going to up to 125% now. But Howard Lutnick came out and said, Scott Bessent and I sat with the president of the United States while he wrote one of the most extraordinary truth posts of his presidency. The world is ready to work with President Trump to fix global trade, and China has been chosen the opposite direction here. So here's what Donald Trump put out on his Truth Social post here. Based on the lack of respect that China has shown for the world's market, he's making China a massive example here. This is what's happening. This is what's happened. I'm hereby raising the tariff charge to China by the United States of America to 125%, effective immediately. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Department of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs. And that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States. I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter here. Man, I mean, the Democrats did not want Trump to be playing this 3D chess, but that's what just he had markets not knowing at all what his next move was going to be. He is now negotiating the most historical trade deals that the United States is ever going to see, and he's saying that anybody that comes to the table here, you're going to get a strong deal. You're going to get limited tariffs, and now he's literally making an example out of China. Not expecting this today here, guys. Over $3.5 trillion has now been added to the stock market here. The SPX up 6.6% here, it went from 400. Let's actually look at the full extension of this here from the bottom at 4,900 all the way up to 7.5%, touching an 8%, almost 9% candlestick on the SPX here. It is crazy. It is crazy, guys. And of course, Bitcoin's following suit, now up to $81,000. We do need to get out of this trend line. Of course, we saw that explosive growth to the upside, but we have a 73-day trend line that we still need to break out of on Bitcoin here. Once we break out of this, I think you're going to look at some significant upside over the coming months here. Ondo, though, breaking out, of course, seeing that 86 cents up 21%. If you go to crypto.com or CoinMarketCap here, we're definitely not. I feel like we're out of the woods. We're out of the woods, right? That light's at the end of the tunnel here. Fartcoin up 24 or 29%. Hyperliquid 26%. Pendle 20%. Ondo 18% here. Guys, let me know in the comments. Did you buy any altcoins this last week or the week before? Because as it turns out, it looks like you guys potentially just picked up the best buying opportunity as we witness history with these trade negotiations. The bears calling for the recession. I don't know if you guys saw this earlier today. Donald Trump literally said this is a great time to buy. It's insane. Donald Trump goes, it's time to buy, and then pumps the markets. He is probably the best KOL on the market. it's insane. Insane here, guys. What do we got from the chat here? Let's see. What did Trump say? I think we just went through all of it there for you. This is why we tried to unalive. Oh my goodness, can't say that, my man. LOL sellers, they can't control or anticipate them. Yeah, it's literally nobody can predict the outcome of this administration here. But what's going to be interesting now is how the media tries to spin this, because everybody wanted him to lift tariffs, and now he's lifting the tariffs, but he's also getting his historical trade deal negotiations, which is what everybody was expecting. I did not expect this to happen in 2 days, especially off what he's been doing the last 3 days. But man, it looks like the U.S. is going to be a dominating trading partner once again on a global scale here. So we will see. I mean, markets are loving the attention. I mean, are they going to advocate for more tariffs now? Is that what the media is going to do now? They're going to come out and say, wait. He can't backtrack the tariffs. We need the tariffs now. We need the tariffs. He only paused some tariffs as the negotiation with these countries here. With those going to begin. Nothing changed with China and many others. It actually says, I just read it off. I'm pretty sure it's every country that's negotiating with them. But yes, there's still tariffs embedded. Yes, there's still, but there's a massive pause and massive reduction in the tariffs is what happened. That's why markets are absolutely ripping here to the upside right now. Again, SPX up 6.64%. Absolutely insane. Wow, man. Wow. Crypt22. So he's coming out. This is someone that hates the Trump administration. You don't get credit for putting out a fire that you started. Dude, again, I mean, the trade deals are going to be historically amazing for the U.S. economy. You can't ever be happy, Crypt22. You can't ever be happy. It's insane, man. Embrace the loss. This is a huge win for trade negotiations. You can't deny that. where are you? Dude, you can't ever make you happy. Can't ever make you happy here, man. What's up, Cheryl? How you doing today? That's called illegal market manipulation. Not when you're the largest country in the world, my man. Ondo, Link, Sol, Radium, Bitcoin is what Simon is buying here. Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, Link, XRP, and Crows, what he picked up on the dip here. Absolutely awesome here. That 15x ETH trade I put is in the up, dude. Absolutely beautiful, man. Trump haters are absolutely miserable. They'll never like anything that happens, man. Never anything that happens. Because by the way, these tariffs, if we didn't have these conversations, the negotiations wouldn't be taking place. It wouldn't be taking place. Like this needed to happen for now. The last country you got to watch here now, guys, is China. Is China going to fold? But judging by the confirmation that Howard Lutnick has with them, we'll see. But new White House has been. Oh, what are we live right now? You guys can't read. Let me share the screen here. It's gonna turn on this audio here for you guys. Boom, share screen. Listen to what Scott Besson just said.
What President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business.
So just going on about the I don't know if, let me see.
Trump was less than 4, and so can trade.
No, they didn't go live. So it looks like there's going to be another conference here very, very soon. Going to be another conference here very, very soon. Just stated 75 countries want to negotiate unless it's all a fake out. Could be. I mean, I don't know about this though. The pause is we'll see. We'll see what happens out of it though. Right now, $81,600 Bitcoin. Again, this is why we tell you guys, dude, Bitcoin can go up just as quickly as it goes down. Up from $74,000 last night to we're up $5,800 here. Massive move there. China needs US more than we need China. Things might get rough, but with a little patience, I agree with you, man. Can we finally begin alt season? We're still a little bit of a ways from that. But again, it does look like the Feds, I've been telling you guys this for months. I mean, since last summer, June, guys, we're looking for the Fed pivot in June. As soon as we start cutting interest rates, that's going to even be better, especially as the energy markets come down with the new executive orders and all the coal production that's going to be starting to push out over the next 6 to 12 months. You are looking at that, but it looks like we're going to see a break for $82,000 Bitcoin right now as the SPX continues to push higher. Markets are loving this announcement here. John, I like this comment here. You don't negotiate with a rogue. You just give in and get out. Let's go. Moon in June, baby. I'm glad my bag is pumping. I'm just saying it was not necessary. It was necessary, though, Crypto 2. This is why we're getting the negotiations. They wouldn't have came to the table. It's insane. It's insane. Just embrace the win, Crypto 2. Embrace the win, my man. I love you, though. I love you. We're here every day, my man. Just enjoy a win. Enjoy a win, you know? Enjoy a win. Jay with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm going to be giving you guys all the breaking news as this rolls through here. Let's look at what's coming through the market right now. We'll see if anything else is rolling through very, very quickly here in the last few moments here. Trump, this is still just more in response to what they just responded to with the tariffs. Trump will be going live here, it looks like pretty soon. If anybody can get us that actual time frame, I will see if we can stick around for that live stream. $4 trillion added to the stock market here, though. Did not see this coming here. At all 17 minutes ago, Besson calls China biggest source of U.S. trade problems. Besson seeing Vietnam today, then Japan, India, and South Korea. And that is still the breaking news right now. So we're going to be waiting for Trump to probably speak in regards to this. And it looks like they are anticipating him at a what is this? Participate in a photo. Let's look up the White House schedule. Let's look it up. 2 p.m. photo opportunity with racing champions, and then he's signing executive orders closed press. So White House press pool, that's going to be at 2 p.m. So this happens any minute here. So they will be taking press questions for sure. This might be the V-shaped recovery. We're waiting the same with with COVID, similar to COVID here. This year has been so manipulated, it's not even funny, dude. It has been a rough ride, chat. But Discover Crypto community, I gotta say, I love being with you guys here, especially on the personal channels as well. You guys have been nothing but amazing. Dude, we're navigating, man. It's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. $82,000 Bitcoin now, though. We are just pushing it higher and higher here on these price actions. Other tokens moving right now. Render, $3.40 here. Let's go to our, dude, Aerodrome. We just bought a massive bag of Aerodrome. Or not massive. We put another $1,000 into our Aerodrome bags here yesterday. That is up now quite a bit as well. It went up to 40 cents. Aerodrome just went to 40 cents 3 minutes ago. Man, dude, look at Pinlink here. Pinlink up 22%. Doge, again, and guys, there's a long ways to go. A lot of recovery that still needs to happen. But, man, it is looking very, very good. $82,300 here. $82,300. Man, oh, man. This pump only made one bag green. Giga Chad. Kraken is broken. One thing for sure, at the end of the cycle, there would be no emotional buying. Well, it's so unfortunate, man. This is what we've been talking about on Discover for so long, guys. Like these prices, it's fearful, it's scary. Everybody's screaming recession. Get out of the market. Sell your 401ks. Dump your Bitcoin. Dump your Ethereum. Get out now. And it's all the bears, dude. It's all the bears. The bears wreck the community. Like it snaps it's the snap of a finger. This market flips back over. You guys could have gotten at the best possible opportunity ever on most of these cryptos. Let's look at Render here, right? Let's go to Chainlink. Chainlink's my favorite bag here, right? Look at this double bottom on Chainlink, right? So if you bought at either of these time points, 21%, dude. 21% there. Let's go to the daily time frame. Well, daily Chainlink's been performing a little bit better than most of because this is the last bear market there. Dude, Chainlink's just ripping here. $12 and just love to see it, man. Let us have our moment. Hopefully Trump doesn't come out and speak and break this entire market. Watch Trump come out, chat, and just be like, psych, pop. They're back on. The 90-day tariffs are back on. Absolutely wrecked, man. That would be insane. Ondo laughed my ass off. Dude, Ondo I'm so stoked for, man. Come on, XRP, pump back to $3. Get me out. Man, your dollar cost average point on XRP is $3. You bought XRP at $3. Dude, I hope it goes back to $3 for you, man. But man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, this is looking good, guys. Unless Donald Trump comes out and completely wrecks this and says, yeah, you know what? We're going to actually go through with this. We'll see what happens. Josh, won't this just push things off for 90 days? I mean, ultimately, what markets are going to anticipate is that there's very positive negotiations that are taking place. That they're going to limit it as long as you negotiate. So what's happening right now, let me point this out. So if you look at this tweet here, right, what's happening right now is Donald Trump is making an example out of China. This tweet essentially is saying, if you're a country and you're going to work on your deficit issues, your currency manipulation issues, your tariff issues, like everything with the United States, if you're going to come to us, not retaliate, but open up better trade negotiations with the United States, we're going to take care of you. If you're an enemy of the United States and you want to try to, threaten our economic advancements and innovation, we're going to come after you. That is why they increased the tariff on China and reduced and paused the rates on everybody else. And so what that explains or expresses is, hey, they're winning. 70 plus countries have came to the table for strong negotiations. We're renegotiating with or without you as a country. And that is what markets are kind of feeling right now in the market. So of course this can change. But I think most people in our chat, maybe you don't, but I believe that the United States is the strongest economy in the world, has way higher leverages than China itself. And then on top of that, you're going to get good inflation readings. Energy costs are coming down. Employment's doing well. Real wage growth is going to rise. It just looks really good for our economy overall moving forward from here. This is very exciting, guys. This is very, very exciting. Everybody should be very excited. Justin, Treasury Secretary Bessent says that this was President Trump's strategy all along to goad China into a bad position.
Losing proposition for the Europeans, because what is going to happen, and we've already seen it starting last week, that as we put up the tariff wall, China's business model is predicated on this incredibly imbalanced economy and exporting low-cost goods and subsidized goods to the rest of the world. And guess where they are going to land? On the European shores. So our allies, part of our discussion as our allies come in and talk to us, is how do we get China to rebalance? That is the big win here. Yeah. That the U.S. is trying to rebalance toward more manufacturing. China needs to rebalance towards more consumption. If at a point we can move to that, then we can move together. Yeah. If they will acknowledge this fentanyl problem. So we have to have an end to these mercantilist policies. President Trump made that a priority. That's right. Just as tax is a priority.
Yeah, it's this is looking good, guys. People are gonna still say this is looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. That's really all I can say here. Of course, I'm sure this is gonna create a lot of stir. The Democratic side is going to come out and the media is going to say that these tariffs were never needed, but they were for the negotiations. Quite clearly, these negotiations wouldn't be happening without any of these conversations. And it has put China into a position of doubt. It's crashed the yuan currency. They sold off a lot of their treasuries. which was obviously what was creating the yield increase on the 10-year over the last 24 hours, 48 hours. I don't know. We'll see. It looks like Scott Bassett right now, though, has the upper hand. He has the upper hand. So we'll see if they can keep to their guns, and if they can actually roll through with this. But they have successfully put China in the worst possible position. No, China is winning. I mean, let me ask chat. Like, I'm not going to disagree. Like, chat, do you think China or the U.S. is winning this? Do you think China or the U.S. is winning this? You can let us know here. But I don't see China beating us. Their demographic issue is the worst issue possible. They're going to run out of manufacturing anyways in the next 20 to 30 years because there's more 80-year-olds and 70-year-olds, more 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds, more 60-year-olds and 50-year-olds, et cetera, all the way down to 20-year-olds. So eventually their demographic's going to collapse, and they're not really open to immigration. So it just, personally, the U.S., I think, has the entire upper hand on this in terms of the energy market, the agriculture market. We're the largest consumer market on the entire planet. China doesn't have a large consumer market, at least not anywhere near the size of the U.S. So we're in a great position here, guys. This is what we've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks. I did not anticipate that, dude. Trump playing this 3D chess, though, saying it's a rumor, we're not going to pause tariffs, to turn around and say all these countries kicking our ass and we're going to tariff everybody and make sure they pay the U.S. and then turn around and be like, hey, psych, only China's getting it because they're not folding. It's been a crazy 72 hours, man. I hope you guys realize this is going to be talked about in history books. This is going to go, like, these are some of the most historically volatile market moves we've ever seen. And the strategies that are taking place will be talked about, whether it ends up being good or bad. Maybe Trump and them fail here. Maybe they fail at this, right? If they fail, that's definitely going to be covered. If they win, it's either outcome here. This was a historical day that you all just lived through. And also, Secretary Scott Bassett came out today, guys, in case you missed it. They're deregulating blockchain and the crypto industry, focusing on Bitcoin and blockchain initiatives with the Treasury. That was a very bullish move as well. There's a lot of good things coming out here. Secretary Treasury Bassett here again, as I've said in the past, no one creates leverage for himself like POTUS. Bassett here, it's just let's actually comment this 3D chess. Actually, let's do. Here you go. Trump thrives in chaos. He does, man. But yeah, so we'll see what happens here, guys. I mean, again, I think the dollar cost averagers that have been crushing it the last few weeks, you guys are in great entry points. I wouldn't be shocked if we came back below 80K at all. I wouldn't be shocked if we came back down to $77,000. Maybe we start filtering out this market here. But this was a great bottoming indicator. Like, this was a fantastic bottoming indicator on the overall market. So unless they reverse the reverse tariffs like they just did today on the pause, I think the bottom's in, guys. I'm going to confidently say it. I think that confirms that we saw the bottom on Bitcoin at 74K. And it does look like that the 74K is turning into a double bottom here. Nice little double bottom there right at the $74,000 line. So if we close really positively upside here today, that's going to be fantastic. And man, this is going to make me so optimistic going into the hearing tomorrow, guys. Which, if you want to see me, I'll be live on Florida's committee on their website, speaking at their Bitcoin digital asset, or the bill that Samuel Arms has been working on extensively for digital assets. Will be going through the committee, and we'll be speaking for the bill for its advocation. We'll be live on the internet for that. And then, of course, we'll be also repurposing that content for you guys on YouTube and on X. So we'll be fighting for a Bitcoin strategic reserve for you guys tomorrow at Capitol Hill in Florida. Not Capitol Hill, but at their state capital, to make sure we can try to get that passed. It's going to be a big day tomorrow, guys. This is all about Taiwan. China trains for invasion 4 times every year. We will never know when it's a real invasion. Trump wants to entangle the trade wars with China becomes a no. Yes, that's part of it as well. They've already been trying to get the reliance on Taiwan away from it, though, of course, with the semiconductors, as we've been trying to reallocate TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, to the U.S. and really move it out of here, man. Best of luck to you, Josh. You nailed it, man, dude. Appreciate you, Omar. Dude, it's been hard, man. And again, guys, this ain't over. This ain't over. But I do not believe, I'm telling you guys, I do not believe we are in that recession. I think these have been the best times to dollar cost average, guys. Absolute best times here. Don't say that. We're going to 90K. Crypto too. Let's go. Hey, let's go to 90K, baby. Let's do it. But now, I mean, you guys got to realize too, now, like all the institutions that have been buying at these levels, like we got to break the resistance areas now too. Of course, this is amazing. Tomorrow, we got 2 hours still till the end of the day here. SPX is, oh my God, dude. The SPX is just ripping. It is now, dude, it's up 7%. It means it's moved 10% from the bottom today, almost here today. Bitcoin's going to just keep following suit, man. It was a great little buzz. We needed that. We needed some hopium in this market. I think we all know this. We've been telling, dude, the same people that told you 51 intelligence officers told you the 100 Biden laptop story was bullshit. The same people that told you Biden's health was chill. The same people that told you there was no issue with the vaccination and everything we dealt with in the last recession that we had. The same people that told you inflation was going to be transitory. And for 2 years, they tried redefining the definition of what an actual recession is. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, which we had in 2022, moving into 2023. It took a year to get out of that. Those same people were the ones telling you we were going to go into a recession today. We're the same people that, even though we're down 20% on the SPX, we're down, to $80,000, $74,000 on Bitcoin, are the same people that were telling you we're going to go 20% lower. We're going to crash even further. We're going to go to zero. The same people that were wrong time and time again. And that's why, guys, I'm not a tariff expert. But when out of nowhere, the entire world becomes tariff experts on the media, and you have MSNBC fucking trying to debate Scott Bessent on the bond market, who is, I don't know if you guys know, Kamala Harris's best friend, if you remember her from the debates, very one-sided. When those people think that they are more intelligent than some of the most accurate economists and bond market specialists in the world, it makes you flash, okay, look, I don't know, maybe we can go lower, of course, but this is flashing bottom indicators. This is flashing a massive buying opportunity of a lifetime. That was what we were experiencing through all that noise. It was so noisy. Markets felt like they were on fire. People were literally looking to reallocate their 401ks, which, sad to anybody that got feared out from Peter Schill, from all these, freaking recessionary fear mongers. Dude, people literally were panicking out of their 401ks and pensions this week. Now that those would be up 10%, they're losing they lost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, because they panic sold, right? It's cyclical. It's so fundamentally psychological. When you're at, and now take this into consideration. When we're back at 110K Bitcoin, let's say, even if that's 6 months from now, a year from now, just remember this feeling, because the same feeling when we're at a bottom of a market and it feels like it's only going to get worse, it's only going to become hell, it's only going to, be more of a net loss on you. The same feeling of being that fearful is the same exact emotional reaction you're going to get with greed at the top. And when everybody's telling you it's going to go higher, when everybody's going to tell you that it's just getting started, when everybody tell you we're going to enter a super cycle, and it's hard, dude. I'm at fault for this. I'm somebody that I told you guys back in November and October and August, I was like, when Bitcoin's at 8, I'm selling everything at 100K Bitcoin. Then we broke past it, and I literally fell for the hopium. I did. I 100% did. I did not sell nearly enough as I should have at that time, because I flipped on the futures market. It is incredibly difficult to time the bottom and the top of these markets, guys. And it's usually based off that emotional factor. So just remember that, guys. This is a key moment. It's to shout out to everybody that's new to your crypto market, to investing overall. This is the human psychology of the markets. When everybody else is fearful, you be greedy. When everybody is greedy, you be fearful. And it works time and time again there. It's insane, man. Was absolutely awesome, man. I love seeing that. Feels good to be back, guys. $82,400 Bitcoin here. Ethereum back. Holy shit, dude. Ethereum up 13%. Ondo 24%, almost back to 90 cents here. We picked up more at set. Dude, we got some incredible DCA entry points here. The only one I need to kick back into all-time highs, for the love of God, Arkham, please. Arkham's been my worst trade this cycle. It's been by far my worst trade this cycle, dude. Arkham needs some life into it. But past that, dude, 16% on Chainlink, 14% on XRP, back up to $2.04. What else is a big mover here? What is a big mover here? Render, dude. I mean, it's just, they're all moving, man. We're getting a little bit of life here. Feels good. Long sweet today at $1.93 today. Holy shit, my man. You are packing those bags, dude. You're getting emotional right now, too. though. Works both ways. Keep calm and stick to the plan. I don't know if that would be emotional or passionate. I mean, passion, I guess you could. I'm passionate about the crypto sector. I'm passionate about participating in this market. I'm passionate about the truth of these markets. And the truth is the emotional roller coaster that exists in crypto is almost the best way to always look at these market conditions. It's why the fear and greed index is so important, which, by the way, guys, FOMO news is we're getting the rebound here any day now. Any day now. I can't wait, man. Well, this is suck. I was going to buy some this weekend. Yeah, unfortunately, dude, everybody, that's my point. I tweeted this out here before this move happened, dude. Before the pump happened, actually. This was this morning. I posted 2 hours ago before all this happened. Everyone wishes they bought Bitcoin cheaper, but then won't buy when it's cheap. Is that like everyone wishes they bought Bitcoin cheaper, but then won't buy when it's cheap? True or false? Let me know if that's true or false. Chat. T or F? T or F in chat. True or false? True or false? Everyone wishes they bought Bitcoin cheaper, but they won't buy when it's cheap. It is, I think, one of the most fundamentally accurate statements you can make of the market right now here. The days of China pillaging America is over. This was brilliantly. Oh my God. Bill Ackman shitting on Donald Trump comes out. So, look, here we go. We have somebody that was shitting on this entire move. The art of the deal, dude. This was brilliant. That's coming from Bill Ackman, dude, who was panicking 2 days ago. That's crazy, dude. Textbook art of the deal, man. That's crazy, dude. So recovery pump or market maker pump? It's going to be a little bit of both. I don't think it's going to be smooth. I'd be shocked if it's just up and up and up and up. You're also going to have to realize, guys, again, institutions were buying at 70, like they're up massively. So there's going to be trades. So your next resistance here, let me show you guys what to expect. Okay. Let me show you what to expect. And let me switch the, let's present here. Let's go to stop sharing. Let's present here, share screen. Let's go to window. Let's give you guys the full window here so you can see a little bit better. So the next point you guys should be focusing on here. So this is the daily, which is in, oh my God, dude. Look at that. Dude, look at that. It's insane, man. Bitcoin up $6,000 right now, dude. It can go up as quick as it can go down. You guys need to remember that. But your next resistance point here, guys, is the 73-day downturn. So we've been in this downtrend for 73 days. If Bitcoin can get above 85K, I think it's off to the races. I think if Bitcoin gets to 85K, and again, dude, this is just so perfectly timed, chat. What date did I tell you, chat? What date did we tell you? What is the exact date we have been saying week after week? I want to see who gets it in chat. It's, dude, April 10th. April 10th. We are 1 day from April 10th, dude. I need to just stick to my guns sometimes, man, dude. April 10th, dude. CPI data report is going to come out bullish tomorrow. And it's just, the bottom's in, man. I really think the bottom's in. And then we're calculated perfectly. I'm telling you, it is June. We're going to get that rate cut. If we get it in May, so be it. That's even better. I don't expect it in May. There's no reason for Jerome Powell to pivot at all anymore right now. So I expect to see one more data point for another month at least before we get that reduction. But that means cutting interest rates, borrowing money becomes easier, more demands, investments coming to the United States, real wage growth outpacing inflation. And I need to get this into your guys', you'll learn. You'll learn if you don't believe it. The energy is what matters. The energy market is what matters. That's what's going to drive down all your manufacturing costs. We're not going to manufacture everything in China. We can't. We understand that. But we know we need better trade deals associated with this. And either way, there's going to be huge demand, whether it's into our auto manufacturers, semiconductors, and specific sectors and industries. Those manufacturing facility costs are going to come way down with the production of clean coal and other energy initiatives. It's going to bring down the cost of that marginal cost extensively. So it's just like dude, I am seriously so stoked for this bull run, man. It got delayed a little bit. But man, I'm talking still 2026. Like I'm talking like these next few years look really, really strong for the crypto market, especially if we get state-based stablecoins, especially if we get a Bitcoin strategic reserve, especially if the United States starts buying 1 million Bitcoin and removing that off our exchanges. Because it's not like the United States is going to be the only net buyer. As soon as the US announces that, every country follows suits. Every trading partner follows suits. It's so bullish, man. So freaking bullish right now, dude. This is what makes crypto worth it, dude. It gets so hard sometimes. And I know TJ's somewhere behind the scenes here. I know DZ's, I think, dancing at the wedding right now. But I'm gonna make TJ come in and speak on this a little bit, because just from people that have participated in multiple cycles, guys, I can't tell you how many times it feels like it's the end of the world, and they just tell you you're wrong, it's rat poison, it's a scam, you're in a Ponzi scheme. And now 6 years later, the United States government is looking at establishing these reserves. The world looks at Bitcoin as a digital commodity, and it's going to trade as such. So TJ, I just want you to give some thoughts on, he completely disappeared. He's not in the market anymore. Maybe he was like, I'm out. Peace out, Girl Scout. He's not behind the scenes. So I'll talk to myself, though. I'll talk to myself a little bit. Absolutely. Just W's in the chat, man. W's in the chat. What a fired up day, dude. I'm going to be so fired up at this hearing tomorrow, dude. I'm going to be like, I'm going to bash globalists. I'm going to bash Wall Street. I'm going to be advocating for Main Street and us having the right to self-custody. The fact that we need to access the energy markets more and create more incentives and just tax distribution for states that's going to incentivize GDP growth through the redistribution of these energy markets. It's going to be such a good day tomorrow, dude. It's going to be such a good day tomorrow. But let's look at some breaking news here and see if there's anything else coming out from these markets, guys, because what a time. What a time. Out here from the press conference. We're waiting right now. Here's Xi Jinping reading Trump's The Art of the Deal here. Man, maybe we all should read that live together now. Maybe we should read The Art of the Deal a little bit live here. New True Social post here 39 minutes ago. Based on the respect, that was the same one we saw that's being reported from the White House. Let's see what else we got here. Do not retaliate, and you will be rewarded. Every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. I think all we can do, guys, is just say rest in peace to the Bears. Let's have a moment of silence for the Bears. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Moment of silence for Aldo Schwartz, man. Just absolutely getting ripped right now. $82,600 Bitcoin here. SPX up now 7.7%. This is the largest intraday trading ever on the SPX here. 8.93% on. We're probably going to push towards 54.90 here, which is insane. Just insane. Almost 83K, guys. We're going for 83K. We're going for the 83K here. Common Trump L, crazy doji that you guys just won't. You guys refuse to have a win. It's a huge Trump W, dude. It's a huge Trump W. Too much winning, chat. Too much winning, man. I was hoping for a couple more days of 79K. I know, dude. That's what's going to be the worst part of this is like, we're going to look back one day just be like, man, I should have just taken out a loan, dude. But you never know, man. But TJ, welcome back. Welcome to the stage. We pretty much, I'm pretty sure you're listening to everything. Not much has broke since this announcement. Trump's going to be coming out here any moment here. I've been just ranting, but how do you feel? You're muted. Too much alpha. Wait,
Sorry. No, I was muted. Sorry, on my end.
Okay.
No, I'm feeling great. I just heard you say like, somebody in the chat saying, I wish I'd taken out a loan or something. And that's actually what I did. I did take out a loan to go in and buy. I was trying to get the car sold in time. I don't think I pulled that off. I'm still selling assets. I still think, I'm going to be accumulating all the way through the summer. Still think I think this pump is going to be insane, legendary. That's what I was just tweeting. I mean, yeah, feels good. Feels like, confirmation of everything we've been saying. Like if you guys watch this channel, I've been screaming is, any opportunity you had under 70 or under 80K, I was saying buy. This is the time. I'm telling you, I can feel it in my gut. I've been through multiple cycles. This feels, it's not anything close to as scary as what COVID 2020 crash was, but it had a very similar bottoming thing. We were even looking this morning at the double bottom at 74K and just like, hey, from a TA textbook perspective, it looks great. There's always bears and the noise is always the loudest near the bottom. We were just even talking about, the third deviation. It's like the first time it deviates down, it's like, all right, yeah, okay, it's a little bit of a dip. The second deviation is like, oh, okay, yeah, this doesn't feel great, but hey, this is how it normally goes. That third one down is when people really start getting scared. They start questioning their convictions. And I mean, I was saying it last night, I was saying it Sunday night, that look, this is why we buy Bitcoin. We buy Bitcoin because we don't trust a third party to act in our best interest. When the world is chaotic, Bitcoin is strongest, and real estate. But I'm even selling real estate now to buy Bitcoin. I've got some rental properties that I'm unloading, and I'm going to be loading up as much as Bitcoin as I can over these next few months. And I think we're going to have an incredible summer. I still feel good about rate. Now now you're going to hear all the pundits coming out saying, oh, they might raise rates because inflation and yada yada yada. And I don't necessarily foresee that. I do still think this actually was the perfect political move for a lot of different reasons. I don't know if you already said this, but it's basically now it's made what we were talking about earlier today. It's the world versus China at this point. It's not just a trade war with every man for himself. It's like, okay, it's paused for everybody else. So now immediately everybody's in line with the US, and it's only on with China. And so it's like, if you're going to participate with China, you're going to get hit with tariffs. Like, ball's back in Europe's court now, right? Like, what is Europe going to do? Are they going to back up what they're doing and try to get better deals? Probably. If not, those things are just going to completely collapse more than they already have. So yeah, it feels good to see these prices. It is fun. I'll pull up my screen here just to show the coin market cap. Boop. It is this not the right size anymore? Make it, there we go. Yeah, I mean, it's great now. All 82K, all these structures, the TA is going to be back in line with what the chart gods like to see. It's amazing how right when all these long-term structures are at their bottoming and people are saying, oh, it might break, and if it breaks, we could be going to, crazy. I heard somebody say a 34, 35K number yesterday, and I'm just like, get out of my face with that. Like, this is, and somebody says a 90-day pause. I never knew a 90-day pause could sound so good. Absolutely. And it's not over yet, guys. Like, we don't want to start taking too many victory laps yet. But if 74 didn't feel like the bottom before, it sure does now.
If this was the equivalent of this was Hiroshima, dude. That would be the equivalent of the battle. That's what just happened right now. The war's over. It's now cleaning this up. It's not, I mean, there's still a lot of logistics that have to be involved with this, but ultimately, like, the U.S. pretty much has declared victory. 70 plus countries have not only called to negotiate, but not retaliate. This is showing, not only does it make China look like the bad person in the world here now, it's going to force them to come to that negotiation table. And it just, their strategy worked. It's working. So I think we're going to watch this play out over the course of the next few months here still. It's not by all any means over what's over the next 90 days. You're going to see all these negotiations take place. But I would imagine they're all going to be more so positive than negative. And if Trump, dude, if China folds now, that's the next question, is if China actually comes to the table and negotiates a deal, that's even more bullish on the markets. And I think everybody expects that to take place here now, which is what's happened and unfolded over the last 72 hours. So lock in. This is the time, guys. If you haven't, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. You need to lock in. If you're not paying attention to these markets and actively here every single day, like we keep telling you guys, I mean, we couldn't have said this any louder for weeks. Dollar cost average, he's bought anything under 80K Bitcoin, DCA, pick it up. Showing you guys we're buying. He's taking out freaking loans. Didn't have enough time to sell his car, unfortunately.
I tried.
But he did try it. I know you've been actively trying to do it.
You know what got in the way of it? I realized I had somebody, because again, these tariffs were making car dealers, especially buy used cars like crazy. And somebody somehow erroneously on my car, on the Carfax, it says possible odometer rollback. And I think what it was is I got a emissions test after it was tuned, and they had to do it twice. And so that was showing up, and they're like, yeah, you get rid of that and we'll make you a more than 6-figure offer today. You can bring it in, we'll cut you the check today. And I was trying to get that done yesterday. So
this could be such an interesting year now, because dude, like Chuck Schumer and everybody in these congressional hearings, Adam Schiff, that Trump was making fun of last night on his speech, Pencil Neck. I don't know if you've heard his nicknames for him. It's pretty funny. Which he's corrupted to all fronts anyways. I don't know if you guys have seen his history, but this is going to be interesting because now they all advocated against these. And these resulted in quite possibly what will be the most historical trade deals to ever be seen within the U.S. economy. They just dug themselves a grave. And so this might give them a leveraged hand because now like all we need to happen now, guys, is the tax cuts get actually implemented and we need the Feds to cut interest rates. This all leads more to more wage growth, to more consumer spending, to more personal savings rates. Like none of this, there's now not a path. And even the path that doesn't work, this is what I want to like stress enough. The path that doesn't work here, this is why you should be 50, 25, 25 allocated to Bitcoin. Because even if what Trump's doing now with Scott Bessent blows up, I'm going to ask chat here. I want to know if you guys know this answer. What happens if this doesn't work? Do you guys know? If these tariffs don't work, I don't want to say it because there's one thing the Feds are going to do.
Let's talk about this while the
Print
answers
money.
are rolling. Yeah, they're going to print money, but let's talk about this because I've heard this a lot, and I think a lot of people have heard pro-China rhetoric. Even it's not Druckenmiller, it's Paul Tudor Jones has been very like China's going to be the next world superpower very soon. People are very bullish on their supply chain. So the question here from Jay is, what if China decides to stop the entire supply chain? So I want to speak to that real quick because I've been hearing this a lot. So if China decides to cut off the world from what they're doing right now, then China just cuts themselves off from the entire world, which is bad for China. It doesn't do you any good. If you make a ton of stuff, but nobody buys it, that's not good. If you've ever been in a product industry, having tons of inventory, tons and tons and tons and tons of inventory and no buyers is terrible. It's not where you want to be. You basically have all this dead money and it's useless. So it doesn't do any good for them to have all the production if they don't have any consumption. You need consumption to go, just like it's supply and demand. It's supply and demand economics 101. It doesn't matter what your supply is if you don't have any demand. So demand is a very key factor, driving force in what's going on. That was what we had. Our main contribution to the world economy from a trade perspective is our consumption, and from an export perspective, it's our dollar. Those are our two main levers, our consumption and our dollar. And they're very powerful levers. And Trump knew that. And he basically used both of those things. Okay, do you want to be cut off from our entire system? Be my guest. Let's see if you want to do that. And I don't think China will come back. They'll get a deal done. But if they don't, they will fade into obscurity because the rest of the world can and will move on without them. It might have some short-term pain. It might be some other, and it's not going to be all these people making jokes about, oh, the U.S. has to stand up all their manufacturing. No, they don't. They wouldn't have to be the U.S. It would have to be anybody else other than China. It could be Mexico. It could be Vietnam or Taiwan or many of these other places out there that do some of this sort of stuff. Now, do they have certain minerals and things like that? Sure, but so do other places in the world, and now there'd be demand and competition for those. So all China playing hardball does is give everybody else an opportunity to capture the market share that they've spent the last 50 years trying to build up. So if they want to take a 50-year step back and go back in time to where they used to be, that's what will happen if they continue down this path, because the rest of the world is going to more or less work together for each of their own benefits. So there's other places that can produce stuff. There's other places that have raw materials. But there's really, other than the United States, Mexico, and Canada, we do most of the importing. We do tons of consumption. So, and that's critical. And we have the dollar. And again, it may, say what you want about the fiat system. It's clearly an unfair advantage being the reserve currency. And if you want to fight the reserve currency, you're probably going to lose. Now, Bitcoin is rising, and this is a lot of the reason. Now this is just going to put a big highlighter on the fact of why other nations need Bitcoin. People are going to point back to this in the history books for the rest of time. Oh, the US uses their reserve currency status to bully the rest of the world, and that's why we move towards this one right here, Plan B.
Yeah, and I need to read. Someone said Ray Dalio thinks China is going to be the next superpower, and Frank, I've read The Changing World Order, but what I want to actually read now, and you've probably read the same book, Frank, we're going to have to read his new book, which I see how he does it, but How Countries Go Broke, the Big Cycle, because he's going to be breaking down essentially the new navigations of this new trade war and how it's repositioning the U.S.-China relations. And it actually looks like he's kind of going, oh, this might, if you've read The Changing World Order, he talks about how there's pretty much this 100-year timeline of currencies. There's going to be a world superpower for 100 years, and then every single 100 years, that superpower changes. The digitalization, what I'm going to be interested in is not only the new trade negotiations and deal sets being in place by what the U.S. is trying to do, but also the digitalization of the U.S. dollar. It might actually expand that by another 100 years. So it's a very interesting time, and we're in for a lot. And I would recommend you go look at Ray Dalio's The Consequences of Liberation Day. I am going to read that book. I'll let you know as well. But it's definitely an interesting time in these markets where you look at the global trade routes, and I completely agree with you, because China doesn't hold any upper hand here. China, which by the way, guys, it's on the East Coast here of Asia. They have somewhat control over the straits through Manila and like the, I guess, Southeast Asian Sea, but the U.S. actually controls most of this. We own the Malacca. We own all of the trading, like this huge trading channel between Singapore, which is where most of their oil is going to come from for China. China does have some pipelines. They're trying to open up more through, Russia itself. But I believe it's like over 14% of the world's oil, and most of it, which is coming for Iran for China, is going to come through the Strait of Hormuz here. So, but past that, really, the United States controls almost every single trading route that exists on a global scale. And again, China's demographics are shrinking. They're going to go from about a $1.4 billion person population to like the high 100 millions over the course of the next 50 years to the next century. And this is because of their terrible two-child policies and what they embedded in the 90s and, just in their culture in general. And so no matter what, China is one of the largest consumers. They have a massive need they're one of the largest consumers in the world. Not nowhere anywhere near close to North America and what we consume out of their country specifically, but in terms of agriculture, in terms of energy. These are all things that allow them to not only remain sustainable, but not have huge famines, et cetera, going through with their country, because they don't have the agriculture developed to sustain their own citizens. So there's a lot of, I'm not saying China's not a superpower. They are definitely a manufacturing superpower of the world. They've established great trading routes and partners. They've taken over the majority of trading partners over the last 24 years. But it's obvious they need a structural shift. And Xi Jinping's not stupid. He understands this as well. So either A, China's going to have to open up to immigration, which they're not necessarily known to do. B, they're going to have to print relentless amount of money, which is going to lead to currency debasement and inflationary measures. Or C, of course, start to open up more trading routes and partnerships with countries like the United States. And so it does look like we're going to see some U.S.-China trade relation come out of this. And that it's a really exciting time. I'm very excited for this, TJ. I don't know about you, but I think this is going to be a really, really cool moment that we get to witness.
I think so too. I keep saying I've been saying it the last couple months. Like we are witnessing history, and again, I've been doing this so long, we kind of forget that we are at the forefront of the new global trade system, the new reserve currency, so to speak. Like we've been, ever since I got into crypto and Bitcoin, and you go down that Bitcoin rabbit hole, you understand where, the fiat system, where money comes from, how it's created, why it's, that governments just print and print and print and print until eventually currencies collapse. It's happened over and over and over throughout history. If you guys haven't read the Bitcoin Standard, I highly recommend it. It's basically just a history lesson on money and economics. I think you go through 3/4 of the book before the word Bitcoin is ever even said. And witnessing what we've been talking about for almost a decade at this point playing out right in front of our eyes, it has been incredible. And we are right here at the forefront of it. And the United States being a leader in a Bitcoin standard, a Bitcoin strategic reserve, is amazing. I do think they are moving towards having the US dollar being backed by Bitcoin and gold, which is great. If we can get back to a hard money system, I think that's incredible. It's still going to be interesting to me to see how it plays out. The US is not necessarily going to give up their reserve currency status being the dollar. But if they can get the dollar backed by Bitcoin, it obviously is a much more powerful thing. Now, there's still a long road ahead of us there, and I think we're still going to see some different iterations. It's probably not going to be the perfect utopian world many Bitcoiners, dreamed of. And when we said fix the money, fix the world kind of thing, I've always had this thesis that we had a sound money supply before with gold. Gold has proven throughout history for thousands of years, not just hundreds or decades, thousands of years, gold has been a good store of value. And time again, we've seen world leaders pervert that into something that works in their favor, and then it collapses societies. That's pretty much what Bitcoin Standard is about. It's just like, here's a society on a hard money supply. Everything was great. They came out, once they started devaluing the currency, everything fell apart. So they did that with gold. Now we've got gold 2.0 with Bitcoin, a better gold, a more liquid, a more 24/7, more portable. It kind of has better properties of money, so to speak, other than some of the volatility people could argue, which I think will stabilize over time. But even in that scenario, the same people that have all the gold and use that will end up with all the Bitcoin. The richest, most powerful people in the world will end up with all the Bitcoin, and then everything else will be a derivative off of Bitcoin, whether it's dollars, whether it's RWAs, no matter what. So I don't necessarily think we're going to move towards a utopian society because we fixed the money. But I do think Bitcoin gives us the best chance of doing that. I do think if you hold Bitcoin, you can change your family tree for the rest of time. I think hold on to your Bitcoin more than anything else. You're going to be more and more tempted to sell it, whether it's because of gains or losses. Most of the time, it's because of gains. People have insane gains on Bitcoin. That's when you're more tempted to sell, which it's understandable. If you bought one Bitcoin at 3K and you can sell that one Bitcoin at 100K, that's when that temptation comes in. Or if it's 200K or 300K, and eventually it will all flow to the people that are willing to hold it forever. Diamond hands, so to speak, the same people that hold most of the gold, whether it's countries, whether it's sovereign nations or sovereign entities, whether it's hedge funds, whether it's BlackRock or MicroStrategy, whoever it is, there will be a concentration of the Bitcoin. So as long as you can participate in that, you can change your family tree, you can experience freedom through crypto. Everybody should have, in my opinion, a Bitcoin denominated goal. I don't know if you guys are watching, I don't know if you have a net worth goal. I don't know if you have a savings goal, but you should start doing it in say you had a goal of I want to have $100,000 in savings or $10,000 or $10 million, whatever framework you need to use based on your life. Swap that to Bitcoin. I want to have 1 Bitcoin. I want to have 10 Bitcoin. I want to have 100 Bitcoin. I want to have 0.5 Bitcoin. If you can start thinking in that context and working towards that goal over a long time or long term and holding it, again, you'll set your family up for the rest of their life. You'll set your kids up. You'll set your retirement up. Again, depends on what phase you're in. If you're getting ready to retire, you can set your retirement up. If you're getting ready to have kids, or if you've got kids, you want to have something to pass down. I think it's great. Yeah, freedom through crypto has a nice ring to it. That is our slogan here on this channel. That's why we do what we do. I could just sit at home and watch my coins go up and down and do DeFi by myself and spend all my time with my family at the beach, which I'm sure my wife would love. And I will do that at some point. But I am very passionate about coming here, making these videos, talking about it with other people. I've shown almost everybody in my entire life now how to take advantage of these things, how to change their lives with crypto, experience freedom through crypto. And it's had great results for my family. It's had great results for my friends. And now obviously all of you guys in the chat, all my internet friends, all the people that come up to us at conferences and say, you changed my life. I bought Chainlink at this price. Or I was telling people to buy Solana when it was $5 back in 2020. And a lot of people changed their lives with Solana. A lot of people changed their lives with Ethereum. A lot of people right now are changing their lives with things like Ondo, with things like Arrow. If you guys were buying Arrow at these prices, you're going to be very, very, very happy by the end of this year. And that's why we do what we do. We do it because we want to hear everyday people change their lives, get out of the matrix, stop being stuck chasing that 9 to 5, a wage slave, as they say. Get your mind into focusing on owning assets, specifically hard assets. Obviously, we talk about crypto here all the time, but for me, it's always Bitcoin, real estate, gold. You can use altcoins and trade back into that Bitcoin goal. And yeah, you're all gonna make it if you're here. You're here at the right time. These are the days we can celebrate. So yeah, it feels good to see this happen. feels good to call the bottom. What do you got?
Breaking news here. Goldman Sachs has rescinded their call for a recession after Donald Trump pauses the Jim Cramer predicts Black Friday meltdown. You will never guess what happened next.
Oh man. Somebody was saying that right before I don't know if it was this or not, but it was like all the banks that were coming out saying recession yesterday, how dumb are they going to look when they back off? And they're already backing off. So, wow.
Screw.
They rescind their recession.
Well, what should we put? I'll just put that. That's fine. Goldman Sachs rescinds their call for looking dumb. There we go. Pie is getting eaten. Yes, man. Let's wait and see the haters. I'll give you $500. Ant onto ripping proof of pants, TJ. Got to prove that you have pants on.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Josh thought hard for that one for a second. Yeah, I want to say something that's I gotta use my brain a little bit more, but something that's more mature. Is that the better question?
Professional.
Haha, bitches. I'm like,
kiss my ass, as Trump would say, right? You know. I actually, I have actual jeans on today. I was in a sweatpants kick there for a while. I was wearing sweats almost every day for a long time, but, I got, there you go. I got pants on. It's, Mr. Wonderful that likes to do that with his like pink shorts and his suit top. So, did you already ask him who bought? I want to know. I saw one of our members, Dylan K, was saying he was buying recently. Let's see. Ducey says, just buy. Don't wait for tomorrow. Buy today. Buy yesterday. It's that simple. Yeah, I said it. I wrapped the show with it today. Don't overthink this. Don't outsmart yourself. You asked for these prices. These are the levels you wanted for and you begged for. Take action, guys. You got to take action to get paid. So many people get stuck on analyzing things. Like I call it analysis paralysis. They get stuck in this like, oh, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And it's like, if it does, then you adapt and react, but you can't not take action based on the fears of the future. You got to make choices and live in today and take action based on what's happening today. And I've say this all the time, but boldness beats brains most of the times. Being bold and taking action versus thinking and coming to the perfect solution, it almost always wins out over time. You learn more through trial and error. You learn more faster through trial and error than you do through theorizing and reading. And that's, I've had that approach in crypto for a long time. I've probably lost more money in crypto than most people in this chat will ever make through mistakes. I've lost 8 figures in crypto through mistakes and things that I've done. But I've also made a lot in crypto too. And if you don't take those actions, you never have a chance at either one. And so I encourage all of you to take action, to buy and sell, to interact with the chain that you are in. If you think Solana is great, buy some, get into their ecosystem, use an app. If you think Base is going to be good, try out Aerodrome, try out, Aave on Base, or take some of these loans, test some of this stuff. Don't just read about it. Like, I appreciate you guys watching our videos. Please, if you're watching, hit the like button, turn notifications on, share this with a friend. That's great. But don't just watch YouTube videos. You can't just read about this stuff and watch the content and not go do the stuff yourself. You have to actually go do the stuff. And I am shocked sometimes with how many people watch our videos every single day, but don't actually go buy things. Now, if you don't have the capital to go buy things, great. Invest in education. The more you learn and you understand, this is the future. It is a very wise use of your time. I'd much rather you watch videos about crypto than sit there and watch Netflix all the time. But, I highly encourage you guys to actually take action. And I know you guys do. We have a very smart chat here. I see it in here all the time. I know a lot of you have made life-changing money. I know because you guys, again, you come visit us at the studio. We see you at conferences, and it's great to know that people are actually learning and growing from this stuff. So give yourselves a pat on the back. If you bought this, let us know. If you didn't and you were scared, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. I really think that was the bottom. And if you're still holding out, keep holding out, I guess. But I did want to show some of these numbers here. I mean, we were talking about some of these meme coins this morning. Hard recovery for Giga and SPX, which is wild. Even on the second page, we've got, Pal AI, Solana swap with a major pump there. AI16Z was one we were talking about this morning. Og, you know, there's just it's pumps across the board. I mean, I'll even go back to the first page. Ondo 21% hype. I almost buy this. That's one I didn't buy. I wanted to buy more hype. Near price prediction this cycle still a good coin. What do you think, Josh? You have a near still a good coin? I would say yes. I still think it's a good coin. It's not one that I hold a lot of right now. Just I think for logistical reasons, it was on an exchange. I didn't have a specific wallet. I think I swapped it all for Ondo at one point, so I'm not holding any right now.
I
but
don't hold near at all. Yeah, no. I hold a little bit of render. I hold some, like probably $2,000 worth of Tau like that. But then I have Arkham was my big AI play, and that thing took a beater, bro. Beater.
Yeah. I don't hate near. I think near's good, and it's definitely gets credit for the AI stuff. And so as AI comes back, it probably will. It's definitely beat down at this level. You know, $2. What was it sitting at up here in peaked in 2022 at $20. Was this where was this March of that was the first AI run up. This was basically when a lot of the AI stuff peaked was, you know, February 2024. It also ran up again in it didn't really do as good in January, February of this year. So keep an eye on it. I'm not against it. Still a top protocol. So I think it's still a good project. Yes. TJ, the ABPT wrote Aave is slept on. I'll have to look into that. I don't even know what the ABPT is. But we do there is some interesting things. You know, as guys know, we're talking about Aave has some cool new products. They even have a new wallet out there called the Family Wallet. They've got something called Lens Chain. If you guys aren't familiar with Lens Chain, I would keep an eye on it. I think it's somewhat slept on. SocialFi, it's a new SocialFi chain through backed by Aave, launched, I believe, with Aave. I've seen a lot of SocialFi come and go over the years. I've tested a lot of them, and I'm kind of I don't want to say bearish on the concept, but I haven't seen one hit yet. You know, FriendTech obviously is one of the more recent ones that crashed and burned. But Lens Chain, backed by Aave, the people I see talking about it, Stani, the co-founder of Aave, Chainlink, the actual Chainlink brand, you know, they're partnered, I want to say, with Layer Zero and Uniswap and Consensus, and basically the infrastructure of this space is behind Lens Chain. So I don't even know if they have a token or anything yet. I don't even. And yeah, no info yet on it, so it's completely brand new. This is what I'm talking about here. Lens. This is the website. Yeah, build SocialFi with Lens. This could be something big in the future. I haven't done a ton of research on it yet. I'm not saying it will be, but this is one that's on my watch list to pay attention to. Just look at this. They're partnered with Circle, Uniswap,
Wait, what
Chainlink,
is that platform?
Called Lens Chain. LENS.
That's the one that hold on, I had a dev send me something. Let me see if that's the same exact thing.
Could be. It could be. They're partnered Circle, Uniswap, Chainlink, MetaMask, Safe, which is the top multi-sig Ethereum wallet that people use, Balancer, Consensus, Layer Zero, like all Rabby, Zapper, a lot of big. You know, it uses the GHO, which is the Aave's stablecoin, which I think will start growing over time. So anyway, this is one we're gonna talk to Stani about it when he's on. Let him kind of give his take on where he thinks this is going. Powered by ZK Sync. If it's anything like what they've built with Aave, I think it's going to do extremely well. This clearly shows good partners and good integration in the space. So I got a couple super chats here. Won't the market just crash again after the 90-day pause? I'd rather take the beating now and then let the cycle continue. No, I don't think so. It's just my opinion on this. I think this 90, you have to ask yourself, why are they pausing 90 days? They're pausing 90 days because they're trying to negotiate all these new trade deals. I believe the reason we have these tariffs to begin with was just to negotiate good trade deals. Basically say, hey, if you're going to tariff us, we're going to tariff you. And if you want to come and negotiate and talk about it, we're happy to do it. And so I think we're going to talk to all these nations over the next 90 days, and we're going to negotiate new trade deals. And then most of these tariffs aren't just going to, it's not like it's going to resume to where we are today in 90 days. It will get done. Most of this will go away. And most likely, we will also negotiate something with China in the meantime, too. I am of the belief that the purpose of these tariffs on other countries was to eliminate their tariffs on us. It wasn't for us to continue to have high tariffs on them. So the ultimate goal is free trade, no tariffs on either side. That's what I think, and I don't know this, that's what I think they were trying to accomplish, and that's what I think will happen by the end of this, which is better, I would say better for the entire world if there's free open trade, free competition. There's not certain nations that are suppressing other nations, and it will be better for everybody, not just good for the US or China. I think what China's trying to do is maintain the status quo that was good for them and bad for a lot of other countries. And I think as over the next 90 days, having Besant and all of these negotiators working on these new trade deals will actually end up being net positive for most nations. We're going to see that play out. We're going to enter that golden era. We're going to see crypto pump. We're going to see the stock market pump. And we're not going to just be going back to this in 90 days, in my opinion. Do you have any thoughts on that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just that is, we've been covering this every single day. We're like, most of the politics and the fear mongering was going to be political theatrics. And it turned out that they were playing that 3D chess the entire time. They were using this as the rumors leaked 2 days ago that they were going to pause the 90 tariffs. That means that got out. They snipped it in its butt because they were using it as a force to the table for all of these negotiations. And so what you can at least take into consideration, like, isn't this just going to happen again in 90 days? Is what they said overall, which is that, if you're going to actually be kind to us, if you're going to negotiate properly with the United States and establish an historical trade deal with us, essentially, we are going to reduce those tariffs. That is what they said in the pause agreement on the 90-day as we approach these negotiations. And it looks like that you're going to see more or less most of the tariffs be dropped completely, as long as deficits, currency manipulations, and other agreements are involved with these negotiations that take place over the next month. So the last pillar of the fall is going to be China. Everyone already knew that, though. We were saying this days ago, even when this has all started taking place, that China we expect to take the longest because it's the second largest GDP in the world. They're the second largest superpower. They're going to do everything in their power to negotiate what's best for them. And you can only imagine they're going to try to do what's best for them. So in this case, I think it's going to take some time for that to fizzle out, which is why, again, like the SPX is up massively, 7%. Let's not get anything wrong here. But we could drop back down to some previous, like we can go back to this breakout zone on Bitcoin at 78K. We can get bounces. It might keep going up here, but now it's really going to be up to three different things. One is the Chinese negotiations, which is the most important probably out of all of this. Okay. Are they going to fault and work alongside the United States? That's going to be beneficial to both our economies. Number two is going to be the global conversations. So 70 plus countries have came to the table. What does it look like for Japan, South Korea, probably Germany, a few other countries along as well? And what are those negotiations going to look like? Because once we have a Japan or we have a large country, whatever it is, come to an agreement with a negotiable trade, we can then expect what future negotiations are going to be looking like. Now, I expect every country to be different individually because there's different resources, different manufacturing, different consumers, there's a plethora of different reasons. We can expect that to take place over the next 90 days. Again, but from that statement this morning, we know that if you're kind to us, we're not going to have crazy reciprocal on you. The third thing is going to be the Federal Reserve. That is the third part of all of this. So Donald Trump has done everything in their power to put the plan into motion. The plan has now been in motion, as we saw today. China is put into a very bad position where they're going to be forced to negotiate, and every other country on the planet is not going to want to retaliate against the United States. They're in a great position with the tariffs. So the only other part of this, which Trump and Scott Bessent have been trying to do, is get the Feds to cut their interest rates. They want that interest rate to drop. They want the 10-year to drop. Some people had the conspiracy that they were purposely trying to crash the markets to get the U.S. 10-year Treasury to drop, ultimately resulting in us refinancing our $7 trillion in debt in June. Doesn't look like that's necessarily going to be the case based off the auctions that we had today. The Treasury auctions took place. There was a lot more demand than expected. But that comes in expectation, of course, with the tariff conversation. So now it's going to be up to the Fed, not Donald Trump. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump now when it comes to the Fed renegotiations in June. If the Feds want to cut interest rates, that's going to save hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars for U.S. taxpayers. Now, the Trump administration already got it down to below 4%. And I'm going to imagine, unless China keeps selling off their bonds, which they can only do for so long, they only have about $750 billion worth of our debt, which is a decent amount. I don't know if that can last a month or 2 months in selling pressure, but that's also going to devaluate their yuan. So it's going to cause their currency to collapse. or ultimately force them to even start having to print more. We don't really see that necessarily being the case. So the next month and a half, I think, are going to be the most important time in this market's history. We're running up to June with the Fed cut, which we're expecting in June. We're expecting the CPI data report and the PCE data reports to come out pretty well this month, which is going to show that inflation is continuing to drop. And now the question is going to be, okay, what is the overall inflationary metric that these tariffs cause? Because tariffs aren't inflationary. Tariffs are a one-time tax. So if prices go up 20%, for example, they go up 20%, but then they're the same inflation month over month, year over year that we've been following suit with. It just is an immediate, pretty much tax increase. That's how you can kind of look at it. So if that's not going to happen and unemployment's ticking up a little bit, which it is, it went up 0.1% month over month or year over year, whatever it was, up to 4.2%, and inflation keeps coming down, the Feds are going to cut rates. And at that point, now our interest rates, our 10-year mortgages, all of that are going to be refinanced at better rates. So this is, again, I think, I've been talking about this for months. I did not expect this to play. Nobody could expect how Trump just played this over the last 72 hours, but we did expect strong negotiations out of it. And so all of this is coming to fruition. And the outcome of this on the 6-month time, at the 6-month outlook, you're probably going to start seeing the results, honestly, within 3 months. The deregulation off the energy markets to the DOE, very interesting. Because you guys have to realize, like, the factories don't have to be up to incentivize job growth. Because they're going to have to hire the construction, hire all the administration. There's still hiring processes that come out with that. And the investments already start pouring in. We have $6 trillion in investment allocation. None of that screams economic recession in the next 2 to 3 years, right? So really, just summarizing this statement here, we can come back down to 77K. Again, I'm going to stand by this. Anything under 80K Bitcoin is an amazing dollar cost average entry point. It looks like, though, my date for you guys, which has been the same date for weeks, if not months at this point, April 10th is the CPI reading. If that comes out better than expected, you have to pray to the bear gods. If you are bearish, you are going to have to start praying to the bear gods that some black swan or economic valve breaks that causes the price to drop. Because the SPX, dude, Bitcoin couldn't break 73K with the SPX collapsing by 25% or 30% or whatever it was down. Right? So you have to ask yourself, what's worse than these tariffs? So maybe it's Trump coming out tomorrow and saying, you know what? Tariffs are back on. That would be pretty dramatic. Will that happen? Again, the bear case is looking less and less likely, and the bull case is looking more and more likely, which is why we've been saying dollar cost average under 80K. It's been a phenomenal opportunity. Of course, there's pain. Of course, it's hard. It's never easy, right? Everybody wants to buy Bitcoin. Everybody dreams of buying Bitcoin when it's cheap, but when it's actually cheap, they can't dollar cost average because everybody else is telling them not to. Everybody else is telling them to be scared. Everyone else is telling them to be fearful. And it always ends up being the same case in the long term that you should have DCA'd. So that's what I got for you guys today, though. I have to hop off here. I got to drive down to Florida here and go attend a committee hearing for you guys. I'm advocating for the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Actually, the Digital Asset Reserve, which you'll see me speaking for a couple minutes here tomorrow to the committee directly in Florida's state capital in Tallahassee. So, yeah, guys, we're fighting for your rights. We're fighting for your right to self-custody. We're fighting for crypto adoption. We're fighting for Bitcoin adoption. We're fighting for digital asset adoption. We're fighting for the right to privacy, as well as for you to be able to buy, sell, transact in any way you want. Opening up more markets to more retail investors, opening up more markets to foreign investment, bringing entrepreneurs back to the United States instead of me going out to Dubai and all these other countries. And we're fighting at the forefront here directly in the hearing. So I'll see you guys soon. TJ, if you have anything you want to leave us off with. Trump's live speaking. No way. If he's live speaking.
Right when you thought you were getting off.
Let me see. Someone goes, Trump's live speaking. Here you go.
I don't hear the audio. I heard it for a split second, but
Let's have audio chat, one or no?
No, you don't. I would hear it on this side.
Here you go.
There it is.
We did Daytona.
Man, right when I was about to. My bad, guys. Hit that like button, repost. I'll shut up now.
You're not supposed to hear anything, but I heard the fans. They were going crazy outside. So it was a great honor. So I just wanted to welcome them to the White House, a special place, very, very special place. And we love champions, and these are the greatest champions in the world. These are the greatest champions in racing, and it's an honor to have you all. And thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much. I wouldn't ride in that thing if you take it. How fast will that go?
240 plus.
240.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Two-time winner of the Indianapolis 500 consecutively, right?
Yes, sir.
So what the hell are you doing? What do you eat?
A
Because
lot
I
of
want
milk.
some.
Drinking a lot of milk. Hopefully.
Okay, I'm going to take some.
That's as loud as it
And,
goes.
that one is pure speed and endurance, right?
Correct, sir.
Speed and endurance. Is that car a very different car than, let's say, this one? Very different?
Very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Made for,
You gotta last so many hours,
right.
and we all share the car, so three
A
drivers.
totally different engine.
Different engine,
Everything's different.
everything.
And you'll go, is it 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's a long time. And that car just, there's no let up. There's no, it's just constant, right? That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's endurance. Endurance is a big factor in life and success, I can tell you. So you guys have it. Well, thank you very much. Would you like to ask Roger or any of these champions any questions while we're here? Yeah.
You started the morning saying be cool, and
Be
just a
cool.
few hours later, there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through what you were thinking about why you decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know, they were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions.
Yippee, dude.
Because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents, they wouldn't have done it. And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, you know, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also. But somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And, you know, look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. You know, it's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal. And we have many other countries, as you know, many more than 75. And they all want to come, and they want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen. They'll call John, they'll do somebody, they'll go through somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did. And I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them, if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate. So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible. A man like Roger Penske, I don't want to get him in trouble with China, so I won't, but he would know that you have to, someday you have to cut the bow and you have to do what you have to do, right, Roger? And that's what I did, and I'm very happy to have done it.
Mr. President,
Was there anyone?
the Prime Minister of Greece just told Breitbart's Matt Boyle that he thinks absolutely the European Union and the United States could work out a trade deal that's win-win and, quote, mutually beneficial to both sides. What do you think about the Prime Minister's comments, and do you think a deal could be struck with the European Union?
First of all, I know him. He's a good man, and I appreciate his comments. Yeah, a deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. We don't have it there for fun. They have it for a reason. And people took advantage of our country, and They ripped us off for decades. I've been thinking about this for decades. If you ever saw me on television, I was young like these guys. And it was the good old days, I'll tell you, Roger. But I was like these guys, young, and I was talking about it. Nothing changed, and nothing was done about it. Then I did it in my first term. I did it, and did it well. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China and others, and I started the process. But then we had to fix up from the COVID mess caused by China. We had to fix up from that, and we did a good job of doing it. And when we handed back the reins after a rigged election, and when we handed back the reins, the stock market was higher than it was before COVID coming in. So, we did a great job, but we didn't have time to do the big thing, which we're doing now. And it's, it's like a patient is sick. You have to do surgery. Patient is very, very sick. And Joe Biden handed us over a country that was in very serious trouble, economically and in every other way. They let China run away with things. They let other countries run away with things. And maybe worst of all, in a certain way, is what they did at the border. We had people pouring into our country by the millions. Many of them were murderers and drug lords and thieves and people from prisons from all over the world. And there were people from mental institutions, insane asylums. They were taking their mentally insane, and they were dumping them into our country. And I'll tell you, Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are doing a fantastic job in removing them. And now the courts, the Supreme Court just gave us numerous good rulings where we have to be able to get them out. You had other judges trying to take over the system. And think of it, they take over. They want these people coming back. Tren de Aragua from Venezuela, the Venezuela jails that cut off the fingers of a man in Colorado. They cut off his fingers because he called the police looking for help. They said, "Did you call the police?" He said, "Yes, I did." "Put your hand down," and they cut off the fingers. This is what they want to bring these people back now. And I want to thank the president of El Salvador for the job he's done, because that's the way it has to be done. It's too bad. Yeah, please.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy. Whoever the hell that
Dude,
is.
holy, I know who that is.
That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer.
That's a TikToker,
everybody
dude.
knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts.
Got his
to
press
do it.
pass.
It
That's
does
awesome.
take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it, and people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before. We have more car manufacturers, Roger, coming into our country now. Speaking of cars. We've never seen anything like it. And they're coming in because of the election, but they're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay 25 or 50 or whatever it may be. They don't want to pay that. They can't pay that. We had 3 cancellations in Mexico, building a plant. They're all coming into the United States. Canada, they're coming in. From China, they're coming in from everywhere. And that's just cars. We have chip makers coming. We're the biggest chip maker in the world from Taiwan, coming in, spending $3 billion to build plants, and mostly a big plant. This is a hell of a plant when you spend the kind of money that they're going to go $200 to $300 billion, not million. You'd say million would be the right number. It's not $200 to $300 billion. Think of that, $300 billion. If you look at Apple is going to spend $500 billion building a plant. They wouldn't be doing that if I didn't do this. They'd just keep building them in China. And that's unsustainable. It's not a pleasant thing to do, but I appreciate the question. And, interestingly, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts, believe me.
Is it the bond markets that persuaded you to reverse course?
I was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had, well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day. We had Liberation Day in America. We're liberated from all of the horrible deals that were made, all of the horrible trade deals that were made. And I was helped by people just like this, senator, congressman, and friends, right? And we had great help in the Senate. Our Republican senators have been amazing. They stood tall. And likewise in the House. And John Thune has done an amazing job. Barrasso has done an amazing job. I mean, I can't think of a senator, really. We had tremendous support. We got a bill passed the other day with almost unanimous support in the Senate. And I think we're going to get that in the House, too. And I have to tell you that Mike Johnson is a great speaker. He's done a fantastic job. We had a majority of 1. Now we have a majority of 7. And you don't realize how big 7 is until you have a majority of 1. 7 sounds like so much. But we're doing well. But Mike Johnson and John Thune have done a really great job.
Mr. President, was there anyone who influenced your decision? Did you speak with anyone? You know, Jamie Dimon? Did you speak with anyone?
Well, I watched Jamie Dimon on Maria Bartiromo's show this morning, and he was very good. He said that actually made the statement to effect that something had to be done with the tariffs and trade. He said that. He said, look, you know, at some point, but he said something has to be done with tariffs and trade. He understood it. He's very smart and very genius financially. He's done a fantastic job at the bank. And he knows that. Everybody knows that. Anybody that's even a little bit smart knows it. It wasn't sustainable what was happening. Somebody had to pull the trigger. I was willing to pull the trigger. This should have been done long ago. Just like Biden should have stopped the border long ago. I mean, allowed 21 million people plus into our country, many of whom should never have been allowed out of prisons and jails. They came out of prisons and jails from all over the world. And now we're getting them out, bringing them back to their countries. But it's should have never been done. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, would you consider exempting some U.S. companies, maybe some larger companies who have been hit hard in the markets last few days during this 90 days?
As time goes by, we're going to take a look at it. There are some that have been hard. There are some that, by the nature of the company, get hit a little bit harder, and we'll take a look at that. Yeah. Just instinctively, more than anything else. I mean, you almost can't take a pencil to paper. It's really more of an instinct, I think, than anything else.
Because you said that these tariffs would go in effect on Monday. You said no pause. Today there is a pause. So how can people believe your word today?
It's not a question of that. You have to have flexibility. I could say, here's a wall, and I'm going to go through that wall. I'm going to go through it no matter what. Keep going, and you can't go through the wall. Sometimes you have to be able to go under the wall, around the wall, or over the wall. These guys know that better than anybody, right? You got to go around them sometimes. You're not going to go through them. So I consider, you know, I think in financial markets, because they change. Look how much it changed today. We went from, you know, pretty moderate today, but over the last few days, it looked pretty glum to, I guess they say it was the biggest day in financial history. That's a pretty big change. And I think the word would be flexible. You have to be flexible. Like he's asking the question about some companies. Some companies, through no fault of their own, they happen to be in an industry that is more affected by these things than others. You have to be able to show a little flexibility. And I'm able to do that. I'm going to say hello to these champions because they are great champions. I got to say hello.
All right, there we go, guys. And that is it here for today. Yeah, guys, it's funny, dude. Trump haters are going to hate, dude. But that was one of the most insane negotiations we've seen roll out here. And it wouldn't have happened without the tariff conversations. It wouldn't have happened without Liberation Day. It wouldn't have happened without this administration. And now we just watch the entire global sector be restructured. It is being restructured. It is going to be negotiating. He is right there saying he's flexible to business that are going to be affected to tariffs more than others. Of course, if you're building in the U.S., you're going to get those benefits. And so, you know, TSMC, they've announced on top of the factories they've been building in Arizona across the states, another multi-$100 billion investment into the U.S. You have Stargate and AI data centers with the hundreds of billions as well, trillions of dollars coming from Saudis. Japan's now, looking to invest as well. You have multiple auto manufacturing coming back to the States. I mean, there's a point where, and I don't expect the other party that hates Trump to ever come out and say that he was right. They just won't. Just like I say Biden was right about the CHIPS Plan 4 Act, and there was issues with it, but going after the semiconductor, industry was right. That was a pivotal move. But I was completely against energy policies. And again, he had to pivot on those with the Inflation Reduction Act because they had to start drilling more oil. But it's like, I like a lot of the things Obama did, and you just have to move forward with it. And so, over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to see some of the craziest negotiations takes place. What's going to be interesting to hear is how the Democrats shift this. They're going to say that Trump caved, like this wasn't part of the negotiations. Guys, we've been saying this since before this happened. These are negotiation tools. They're not definites. They're negotiation tools. And they're going to gaslight you into thinking that they were never anything but tariffs and not negotiation tools. It's like we've all seen this coming. We understand what the objective here. We understand what the incentives are here. And so really now as we move forward, I think the best thing we could possibly do is not hold it like, guys, take the win, right? But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Investment allocation, the right legislation, the right framework, the right deregulation, the right administration of officials being appointed, the SEC chair. We haven't even gotten Paul Atkins nominated, I believe yet. I don't know if it's been official. So there is still a lot of groundwork to be done, but overall, the Americans, what Trump just pulled off there was the greatest financial negotiation tool we've seen, at least in modern times. All these countries are walking back on their tariffs, on their trade deficits, on their currency manipulations. The only one that hasn't yet is China. And I mean, if they did this with already almost every country in the world, I imagine China's not going to be too far along. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man.
No, I agree. They can't fight the whole world. They just, because at the same time, their markets are in shambles, and so that's the truth is, the money always leads, where the money goes, the governments have to hold on to that stuff. They can try to put up walls and keep everybody in again. That they tried that in the past, didn't work out too well. So I think, free open trade is the way, and somebody, I think that was a really good speech he just delivered there. I think he said a lot of things that were very true. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to work with people, but you also have to be willing to pull the trigger. And that was the same thing I was saying before too. Somebody's got to step up and nut up in order to get this thing done. He was willing to do it. He wasn't afraid of the chaos. He knew we had a lot of leverage, and we created even more leverage through doing this. China will get on board eventually. They don't want to exile themselves from the rest of the world. That was a great day. You just witnessed history. If you guys were with us throughout all this time, happy to have you guys with us. It's been a blast covering all this stuff. And we're going to remember this for days to come. I lost it, but what we just experienced on the NASDAQ was the biggest single day gain since 2008, since after the 2008 financial collapse. And so DZ was breaking down all of those the other day too. I mean, we told you on this channel yesterday, this is a bottom. This is what it looked. We went and looked at all the other death crosses. We went and looked at 87. We looked at 2008. We looked at many other financial crashes and said, according to history, according to technicals, according to macro, according to so many other things, there's so many buying signals flashing right now that this is the time to buy. Now, it's not easy to do. I don't fault anybody for not doing it. It's never easy to pull the trigger when there's max fear and max pain going on. But those who did will be rewarded for years to come. Shout out to all you guys. We'll be back. DZ's going to have a good update. He's already shot on what's going on that will be posted tonight on the uploads. If you can, follow us on X. Go interact with us there. That's where you're going to get the most up-to-date breaking news. Discover Crypto X. It's in the title. The link is in the description. You guys, if you guys haven't, it's just at Discover Crypto, or just type in Discover Crypto on X. It should come up. Yeah. Give us a like, turn on post notifications. If you guys are watching this channel, turn on post notifications. Like Josh mentioned, he's got to jump in the car, and we're not going to stop. Even though we could be hanging out watching our bags pump, he's working hard. He's going all the way to Florida to cover that policy update, and we've got a lot more in the works for you guys. Discord is built and ready. I think we're going to be promoting it here soon. So stay tuned for that as well. If you want to follow along with our trades,
And as well, guys, I am banned on TikTok, so make sure you follow me on X right now, guys. Links right there, because I will not be posting on TikTok anymore. So, yeah, guys, if you want to go subscribe over to the X there, that's where I'll be posting all of my updates and my videos now. I'm hoping we can get the TikTok back. We're in good conversations as well. I definitely found out that I was mass reported on the political side, so it definitely was either, I don't know if it was an activist group. It wasn't even my crypto content. It was the political content. And I love the fact that we came out swinging today and being pretty much right about most things in terms of the tariff wars. So we'll see if we can end up getting it back, but it's going to take some time. I have a meeting there Friday. So if you guys want my content, want my updates, make sure you guys are just following me on X here. And then I'll be pretty much updating everything else through the YouTube, the Discord. And then, of course, I still have my Telegram chat. But that's kind of where we're at right now, guys. So I found your TikTok, Josh.
No, he's looking at. You must be looking at an impersonator.
You're looking at an impersonator.
He has tons of impersonators out there. So yeah, we'll know when we get it back. Trust me, he would. He would.
Yeah,
know.
it's not. That's definitely not there. Yeah, there is some fake ones. So be safe out there, guys.